It's safe to say 2024 has been the best year of my life, and there's many reasons for this. The European road trip back in July, attending the Belgian Grand Prix, but I think most of all, creating content here for all you lovely viewers on the Daniel Drives YouTube channel. So in this video, it's a bit of a celebration and what an epic year it's been. I'm Daniel Acthouse, and for the final time this year, you're watching Daniel Drives. So I hope you had a lovely Christmas full of pigs in blankets and hot chocolates, because I know I did. But I'm here today filming in my bedroom, and it's been a long time since I've filmed here. It's still relatively the same since you last saw it. I think in 2021, when I filmed my big welcome back video after I had COVID, dark times. But yeah, it's still very car related. There's some little Christmassy decorations here and there. But I had hoped to have been, filming outside today on New Year's Eve, the day this video goes out. But there's a yellow weather warning. It's really windy and it's rainy and it's actually going dark. So yeah, not brilliant for YouTube filming. So I thought I'd film it here in my warm bedroom. And yeah, I think it's quite nice. I've set up the set quite nicely. And I've put together a Word document because Daniel Drives has gone very technical today. With some of the highlights from this year. And we're going to go through every video that's been published on the channel this year because there's been a lot. To be exact, actually, there's been 23 videos published and uploaded on the Daniel Drives channel this year alone. And if you would have told me, years ago, some of the videos I've created this year, I wouldn't have believed you. To tell me, a car guy, that I would have, filmed driving around the Nürburgring in my first car, my dream car, my Fiat Panda 100 HP, I would have laughed. I wouldn't have thought you were being serious because it was such a surreal experience, and to be filming stuff like that, it's just unbelievable. I really can't believe it even today, like 6 months on. But I think the most special thing really is with doing this YouTube channel, there's been people at car events in the past that have approached me and have said how much they enjoy watching the channel and how much it kind of lifts their mood when they see a video. And I can't say how much that means to me. It means a lot because I create content because I enjoy it. So when I hear that other people enjoy watching it, it's kind of like, hold on a minute, this is amazing. It's really nice. So it's been a great year. So this video rather, is going to be a bit of a reflection of that. So make a cup of something warm, or maybe a glass of wine or something if you're feeling rather devious, and enjoy this little flashback of 2024. So the first video of the year was published on the 10th of January. And it was about my first year driving because I passed my test obviously on the 10th of January 2023. So actually coming up to 2 years now, unbelievable. And I spoke about my first year driving, my highlights, my insurance tips to fellow young drivers. And I just highlighted how affordable it is actually to have a Fiat Panda 100 HP as your first car. They're fantastic cars and it's a good video. I enjoyed filming that one. And it marked the beginning of what would be an epic year. It really, really was. And every journey is a memory I will never forget. And this car has just made it so effortless, so exciting, and just so brilliant. And quite frankly, I absolutely adore it. If you do hear the dog barking, I can only apologise. It's the joys of filming at home. There was then a bit of a gap of about a month and 12 days, I think. And it's a common theme on the channel where I do a burst of like 3 videos in a row or something, and then there's a bit of a gap. And people have moaned about that in the comments, but I do apologise. That's my New Year's resolution in 25, is to be a little bit more regular with the uploads. But it was then the 22nd of February, and a video went live, and it was all about how to paint brake calipers. And there was a cameo from my good friend and a work colleague, actually, Jordan, who has a BMW 125i. And it was a bit of a collaboration with us both, and we, painted the calipers on his BMW. And that video is a really special video because it was a very fun one to film and very productive, obviously, painting the calipers. But it was also very high quality, an unusual standard for Daniel Drives, because Jordan has sort of a photography, videography business that he does, and he's very, very clever. And I thought I'd be filming from my iPhone like I do, with my little mic and everything, but he thought, let's make a proper job of this. So he uses proper professional camera, his editing software on his MacBook, and it turned out to be a really nicely polished YouTube video. So check that one out, especially if you want to paint your brake calipers. But yeah, it was a very enjoyable one to film, and when he sent the edit through, I couldn't believe the standard of it. He's a genius. But today, in 2024, I'm finally going to have a go at painting brake calipers. But not on this. No, instead, on my friend Jordan's BMW 125i. I'm Daniel Acthouse, and you're watching Daniel Drives. Fast forward to the 10th of March, and it was a trip down memory lane because I travelled about an hour up north to meet Ryan John Ball. Now, he does a YouTube channel as well, and he's on Instagram, and he's got a Mark 1 Mazda MX-5 called Mazzy, and it was special because we used to have a Mark 1 MX-5, my parents did, back in about 2009 when we lived in France. It'll be a nice British racing green one, and I know where it is now. I want to do a video in future where I kind of track down the car and maybe see it for the first time in like 16 years, whatever it's been, blimey. But yeah, it was a special day because it was the first time I properly crawled around and been out in a Mark 1 MX-5. You know, after all those years, and I was 4 years old when we had ours, and I was 18, I think, when we did that video, and it was a fun one to film again. It was a really nice day. We did it in a little nature reserve car park, which turned out to be a lot busier than we thought. But again, it turned out to be a good video, and we went out for a drive, and I think the smiles on mine and Ryan's faces kind of summed up how fun that day was, really. So go check out Ryan's channel for more MX-5 content. Okay, viewers, I have a bag of tetanus. So this here is the rear inner sill of this car, believe it or not. I'm actually going to come up close. Here it is. You can get a closer look here. The car reviews then continued because on the 18th of March, the video went live, and it was my review of the Abarth 595. And that was owned by Alec Ward, and we filmed that at Caffeine and Machine. And again, an epic day. I think it was an Italian car day or something that Caffeine and Machine were doing, I think. And we managed to get my Panda and Alec's Abarth parked next to each other in a really nice position where you could see the Caffeine and Machine building. And that was a great day. The 18th of March was a bit of a follow-on video because I did a little walk-around video around Caffeine and Machine talking about some of the other cars on show. If there's one thing I really enjoy, it's walking around these events and car meets and just talking about the cars that we all know and love. Really, that is a very good answer. My car's got Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, but it's not standard, is it?
Yeah, well, I've got tinted windows, so overall's that.
That's got rear tinted windows.
Yeah, I've got grey wheels.
Yeah, but not that good.
Mine's a Panda.
Mine's a 500.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the man himself. The 23rd of April, we're really ploughing on now, we're at Easter time, was my Bicester Scramble video, and that featured Ewan Finley, who's a good friend of mine, he likes his cars, he's got a classic Mini, which we're hoping to get on the channel soon. Bit of a hint for 2025, and also Francis MS, who was a guest, and Ewan was as well, on the Daniel Drives podcast, my podcast, which you can check out on all the usual podcast platforms. A very, very good chat we had. And that was a good day, as ever, the Bicester Scramble. It's one of my favourite events. And we saw Chris Harris's yellow banana Porsche 911 GT3 Touring, which was cool because it's a car I'd, you know, watched on YouTube and Instagram and really obsessed over. And to see it in real life was really cool. But it was, I think it was the Bicester Scramble later on in the year, it was in October, that was really quite exciting, also involving Chris Harris. We'll come to that later on. But yeah, Bicester Scramble never ever fails to disappoint. What always seems to happen, I go to these events and I'm just followed around by this creepy man. Mr. Ewan Finley, everybody.
Oh, God.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Last time you were on the channel, I spent half a day bleeping out your swearing.
Oh, well, you do it again.
There you go, there you go.
That's a louder one. Good
First
luck
5 seconds, you've got to try and beat that
Exactly.
next time.
It should just be immediate next time. It's just like, hello.
It was then my Shedfest video, which went live on the 9th of May. Shedfest obviously being the event hosted by Auto Alex and Petrol Hedonism. And there's a really funny bit at the start of the video where I talk about Petrol Hedonism organising the event and how it's all going to go very smoothly. Now, if you know, you know, there was some queuing issues, which luckily I didn't get involved in because I was very early. But it was kind of like subtle foreshadowing of some of the chaos that would later unfold. But it was a really, really good event. I know it was disappointing for some that didn't make it in, but it was great. And it really shows the achievement that the Auto Alex guys have, you know, really gone through this year. It's been an amazing year for them. But yeah, it was a great event. I think it was about a week or two before my A-levels started, and I was unsure whether it was a good idea for me to go because I probably should have been revising. This is Phil the MX-5, absolute YouTube legend, this car. Yeah, this is the car that first got me into car throttle right at the beginning. The Daniel Drive channel then went to sleep for a little bit because I did my A-levels, which did go well in the end, I'm happy to say. It was very nerve-wracking and very intense. You know, lots of late nights and early mornings. Sat here at my desk with revision books absolutely everywhere, pieces of paper on the floor, and it was a very stressful time. But I kind of look back on it now and go, it was actually quite nice, you know, because everyone was together supporting each other, you know, fellow students. And yeah, it was a weird time, but 26th of June marked the return to YouTube after the A-level exams, because it was then the start of summer, and what a summer it would turn out to be, because I did my road trip announcement talking about what the road trip would, you know, involve and what would happen. And it turned out to be the best week of my life. And I think I knew at the time it probably would be, but sat here now where it's just a memory, it was such an incredible week. So I went to a local car park on a really sunny day. It was really hot, I seem to remember, like very hot. And it's difficult to film on hot days. And there was lots of updates for the Panda. It had new Bilstein suspension all round, which was very expensive, but made a huge difference when going around the track, and shakes my bones every day now. New headlights as well, and it was looking really clean and nice. And I love the Panda in the summer. I really, really do, because you've got the windows down, you've got the nice exhaust at the back. It's just a lovely car to drive, and it was perfect on the road trip. I'm announcing a road trip, a 2,000-mile European road trip that I will be embarking on next week with my good friend Jacob. The road trip then commenced with me and my good friend Jacob Hartley in the Panda, around 5 or 6 countries, I think. And one of my proudest achievements, I think, doing YouTube was on the road trip. I wasn't sure how to film it. You know, do I film the individual events and post them here and there? Do I film the whole week and upload when I get home? I decided last minute just to do daily videos. I'd record the day, and then I'd edit it in the evening, and then the video would go live the following morning about 8 or 9 a.m. before we set off for the next day. And it was a tall ask, because it takes time to edit a video properly, and it takes time to upload it, obviously, especially when you've got limited Wi-Fi abroad. But I managed to do it, and if you ask Jacob, he'll tell you there was many evenings where it was like midnight, 1 a.m, and he was just groggy, wanted to go to sleep, and I was there editing away with like wide eyes. And yeah, did the week road trip with daily videos without fault. And what a trip it was. I mean, we did a lap of the GP circuit, the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We did the Michael Schumacher Museum in Cologne. We went to the Porsche Mercedes Museum in Stuttgart. We did the Sinsheim Museum. And we finished the trip in Rem, at the Rem circuit, the historical circuit, where you've still got the start-finish straight and the big buildings and everything. And it was just incredible. You know, it was nearly 2,000 miles. The Panda handled it brilliantly. And without doubt, the highlight of my life. And to have driven nearly 2,000 miles as an 18-year-old. I'd only been driving for a year and a half. It was a tall ask, but I enjoyed every single minute. It wasn't easy all the time. There was a moment in Belgium where I nearly got rear-ended by a lorry. Completely my fault. And then also one of my wipers broke on the way to Germany, which turned out to be a bit of a comedy sketch for the rest of the trip, where I've got the Nürburgring photos and the wipers kind of halfway up the windscreen, only one wiper. But what a trip. And I can really recommend, if you've got some time, a few evenings, just to go through that road trip series, because it was a lot of fun to make. And I still now, every now and then, if I go onto the channel, my channel, to do something, I'll just click on one of my road trip videos just for the nostalgia, because it was just so special. So hello from up here. It's exclusive content of Daniel Drives himself going down a slide somewhere near Sinsheim. Once I was home and settled, I got back to YouTube life on the 17th of July when my review of a wingless Audi TT went live. And that, again, a very fun video to make. I went down to Bicester Heritage, great place where they do the scramble, to meet Juanma, who owns the Audi TT. And he's Argentinian, living in Holland, that came over to the UK for Goodwood, it was, back in July, which I sadly couldn't go to because I was too busy. And yeah, it was a great day. It was great to meet Juanma, and he made me a piece of artwork, an illustration of the Panda. and it was really, really special and really, really kind of him. But it was great to call around the TT because I've never properly had a chance to, you know, go in one, go out for a drive and stuff, and it's gorgeous. And I didn't quite realise until after I filmed the video, kind of the rarity of having no wing on a TT, and reading up about it, how much of a kind of a widow maker it was. So kind of cool that one has been on this channel, because it doesn't feature the rear spoiler that you tend to see on the Mark 1 TT. Now, I think it really, really adds something. It's weird, removing something adds something to the design. It just looks so much more sleek, more, you know, coupe-esque, and I'm a big, big fan of it. On the 4th of September, I did a bit of a follow-up video about the road trip once it all kind of processed in my brain that it actually happened and it wasn't a dream. And I talked about it was a bit of a recap of what the road trip was, obviously, but also the costs, because I really do think everybody should do something like that in their lifetime, just a really long road trip. It's very intense, but it's a lot of fun. It really, really is. And there's a few people in the comments saying, you know, after watching the road trip series, they'd started planning their own and booked ferries and stuff, which I thought was amazing, you know, to inspire others to do a similar thing and travel. Because travel is an amazing thing. It really is so special. And I kind of proved in the YouTube video that it doesn't have to be so expensive. I think for me alone, it was about £500, and then Jacob probably another £500, kind of split in two. So it can be really affordable if you make it affordable, you know, with Airbnbs, a car that's not drinking fuel like crazy. And thankfully the Panda's pretty good on fuel. Okay then, let's get down to business. Let's talk numbers. The whole theme of this video, enough of me rambling, let's actually whip out the Daniel Drives book of notes and let's get serious. Later on in September, on the 20th, my Skoda Citigo review went live. Now, that was an interesting one. So the Citigo is owned by Jacob, who came on the road trip, and his dad. And it was an interesting video that I really wanted to make. I know it's just a Citigo and whatever, but it's a realistic, attainable car for my audience, which is, you know, fairly young car fans, you know. And I really do think the Citigo, the Up and the Me, that platform is so brilliant. It really is. Citigo was the second car I ever drove all those years ago. And we've got an E-Up as well, so we find living with the Up really, really nice. It's kind of got basic tech, but it's all you need, really. So yeah, that was a good one to make. Really, these MPI engines I rate very, very highly indeed. So we're out on the move now in the Citigo, and we will see how it drives. But Jacob, hello, welcome back to the Daniel Drives YouTube channel. On the 8th of October, it was my second Bicester Scramble video of the year. I think there's been about 4 on the channel now, I think, which is quite good. They won't stop, I promise, because the Bicester Scramble is such a good event. And I hinted to it earlier on in the video. It was a really special day because I met Chris Harris and I got a photo with him. And I was with Francis, again, I mentioned earlier, and he got a photo with him as well. And it was just really cool because Chris Harris is a bit of an idol of mine. Watched him on Top Gear, but also watched all of his YouTube stuff, his podcasts, read his features. It's a bit of a legend, really, in the car world. The October Scramble is always a really good event because it's really autumnal, you know, like fallen leaves and stuff. It makes for a really good video, all the orangey colours in the trees and everything. So yeah, it never failed to impress me, the Bicester Scramble. This is probably in my top 10 all-time cars, to be honest, because I just think it looks fantastic, and in my eyes it's kind of the perfect recipe for the perfect car. On the 16th of October, pretty much the week after, it was one of my bursts of doing regular uploads, I uploaded my video from Autos de France, the event at Alton Park, celebrating all French cars. There was TCV racing, Citroën Saxo racing, and some other classes as well. And a great day, a bit of a theme really. It's just been a fantastic year. And yeah, it was good. I went along with my granddad in his Citroën 2CV, the car that kind of started my passion. Gorgeous car. And it was great. It really, really was. I love French cars. It's no secret. And on the podcast, it seems to have, all I've been on about recently is Renault with the new Renault 5 and stuff. But yeah, really, really cool event, and good to spend quality time with my granddad in the 2CV really, and go around and see some familiar faces in the 2CV racing paddock, you know, like Chris, Maria, Andy. It was just a really good event. The penultimate video, minus this one obviously, was the 13th of November, 13th, unlucky for some, and it was my events report from the NEC Classic Motor Show. A fantastic day. It was exhausting, because I think I had a late night the night before at work, and then it was an early morning, and then the train that I was meant to be on was cancelled, so I had to drive last minute. Everything went wrong that day, pretty much. It was exhausting, but it was perfect in a way. It's kind of just, no matter how tired you are, how groggy you feel or anything, cars just lift your mood. They really, really do. It's what I find anyway. And it was cool to see the new Renault 5, mentioned it just before, a car I love. Lots of Porsche Boxers that made me very interested in buying one. Who knows, might happen. Auto Alex stand, seeing the Cara Cottage, I think they call it. That was funny. It was just, yeah, a great event, my first time at the NEC, and it made for a very good video walking around. Bumped into Ryan as well with the MX-5, bumped into you and Finley. Lots of friendly faces of the channel, and I can't wait for next year's Classic Motor Show. The Renault 5 is obviously a very important car for Renault. It's very successful for them, but a car that's really going to bring them back to the legendary status in the 21st century is this, the new revised Renault 5. And then the last video was the 21st of November, and it was my review of our new to us Renault Twingo, my dad's new car, because I obviously nicked the Panda off him a few years ago when I passed. And it's a lovely little car, Twiggy the Twingo, and people really enjoyed the review. It did better than I thought it would. And again, it's because it's an attainable car, a car that people can actually go out and buy if they like one. And it was good. It's had a good life so far, the Twingo. It's had 4 new tyres, Toyo Proxys Comfort. It's due a service. We've got the spark plugs and everything ready. So there's going to be more content on the Twingo. So if you want to see more, then do let me know what you'd like to see next year on the channel. But yeah, a really nice car, and I enjoyed driving it that day, getting temporary insurance and kind of razzing it about. So let's talk about some analytics, shall we? Something I thought would be quite good to include in the video. So obviously 23 videos this year. And that is 126,363 views this year. That's across, I think, all of the content, I think, this year alone, which is outstanding. I can't believe it. It's a figure that it just shocks me, to be honest. Top content, the most popular video this year, was my Fiat Panda 4x4 adventure, which was last year's video. So thanks a lot, guys. The second one was my Head Unit Heaven video. And that was also 2022, I think. Again, very, very good. And then the third most popular video this year was my Renault Scenic review. That's unusual, big surprise. The Scenic, which sadly departed us a couple of years ago to make room for the E-Up, which I promise there will be a video on come the next year, because it actually goes in April. It's the end of our 3-year lease. But yeah, it kind of says something, doesn't it, that the top 3 videos of this year weren't actually from this year. So there you go, let's move swiftly on. Shows how good I'm getting. Impressions. Now, impressions are kind of how many times a video's come up on somebody's feed on YouTube. 1.5 million. I don't entirely know. Wow, that's unbelievable, really. 1.5 million is a number I should not be saying on my little channel. Unbelievable. Male viewers, this was kind of funny. I thought I'd include this. This is percentage of viewers that are male. Would you like to guess? No, it's 99.8% male viewers, which means that 0.2% of the Daniel Drives audience are female. I think I just made me laugh when I saw it. We need to get more females on the channel watching, because it's inclusive. You know, I don't know what I'm doing to kind of scare them away. I'm probably too geeky. But there you go. There's another New Year's resolution, maybe. A bit more of a diverse audience, but I can't control that. Viewers subscribed. This is how many viewers are actually subscribed. Only 15%, which means that 85% of viewers of the channel are not subscribed. So you, viewers, I don't know if I keep saying listeners, it's getting confused between podcast and video, because normally I'd be sat here doing a podcast. Viewers, are you subscribed? I'm not sure if you are. I'm looking at you, sat on the sofa, not subscribed. Scroll down and leave a subscribe. It's free, supports the content, and it means that whenever I upload, you don't miss it. And if you're already subscribed, then thank you. I do appreciate it. So what have I achieved this year? Main achievements is the launch of my new podcast, the Daniel Drives podcast. That started in June. I think there's been 27 episodes roughly. and it's been great fun to do. It's a bit of a different dynamic to this. So it's basically me talking about cars, a bit about my life, a bit of Formula One chat as well when there is stuff to talk about. And I really enjoy doing it. So that's going to continue next year. There's going to be some new segments and stuff as well, more guests, because that's one thing I really enjoy doing is guest interviews. So definitely check that out. It's on Spotify, Apple, all the usual sites. Obviously I did my A-levels as well. That's got to be an achievement. Just getting through them alive, quite frankly, is an achievement. But we all did quite well as a group collectively. So yeah, if you're one of my friends watching this, also did A-levels, then well done. We all made it through and we're all still alive. And we're sat here now and they're in the past. We can all breathe. And third, I've started a new job. Because I'm on a gap year, it gives me time to work, save up. It means I can get a new car next year, which might be one of the first things you see on the channel. Who knows? We shall see. Hint, hint. And I deliver for a supermarket, and it's a job I love because you get to drive around, see the sights. And yeah, it's fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better job to do, really. It doesn't feel like work at all. It's crazy. And next year, who knows, might be university, might be a degree apprenticeship, it's whatever I decide. So what's next? What's next in 2025? Obviously, the plan is to get a second car. Now, I'll probably do a video in the next week, hopefully, if I get time, kind of discussing what could be next. What is my criteria for my second car? Is the Panda going to stay? I don't know. Well, I do know, but I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger. You'll have to watch the next video. So there we go. Another road trip is definitely on the cards. Definitely want to do that. And Jacob's on board as well, so there'll be more content. And a bit of announcement, because obviously I went to Spa this year for the Belgian Grand Prix. Next year, I'm very happy to say, and I can't believe it, I'm going to another Grand Prix, which is unbelievable because I'm a die-hard Formula One fan. Got my McLaren, got my Ferrari and everything. I love Formula One. It's a bit of a new hobby of mine from recent years. And next year, I'm going to Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Nürburgring near Budapest. And it's going to be unbelievable. And of course, more car reviews because I enjoy doing them. And if you're sat there and you've got a nice car in the drive or in the garage tucked away somewhere and you'd like me to review it and like my opinion on it, I won't grill it, I promise, then do let me know. You can email me, send me a message on social media at DanielCarzo5 or leave a comment and then I can get in contact with you. But I want to kind of get you viewers on board with the channel more in 2025 because it's something I really enjoy doing. And it's a collective celebration of our passion for cars. So there you go. There's a bit of an overview. So that is it for this video, and that is it for 2024. It's currently coming up to 4 p.m. on New Year's Eve, so I'm going to be frantically editing this. If you're watching this at something silly like 6 o'clock, then just know I'm very, very stressed. But what a year it's been. I've said it so many times, but it's been unbelievable, and I'm so, so grateful, and I've got so many people to thank. So I'm just going to say a collective thank you, whether you're a friend of mine that's helped with filming, family member, or whoever, or even if you're just a viewer that's just clicked on the video. I really appreciate it because it's a huge hobby of mine doing this channel, and it's something I really want to carry on doing and maybe make something of it in the future, maybe a career, who knows. It would be ideal. But yeah, it's been surreal, absolutely surreal, and your support has been unbelievable. There's been so many positive comments, and I've had so many DMs from people, and again, I mentioned it earlier on, people approaching me at car shows saying just how much the Daniel Drives channel means to them. It's unbelievable. I can't comprehend it. I'm just simply a car guy that likes talking about cars to a camera, like I'm doing now. And that is very much going to be the plan going forward in 2025. So that is it, really. I'm signing out for this year. This is my 24th video, quite a bit. It's about an average of one a fortnight, I think. It's not been like that at all. It's been a burst of loads and then about a month or two's gap. But yeah, rest assured, next year is going to be even better than this year, somehow. I'm not sure how it can be, but it will. So I'm signing out. Daniel Drives, wishing you a very, very happy new year. And I'll see you very, very soon in 2025. Thank you so much for watching.